So I remember when I was about 16 years old, I was in Newark, California, and all I remember hearing was saying, help, help, help. And at this time, I had no medical background. I turned around and I saw this 8-month pregnant woman who has fallen to the floor. She was scared that she was going into labor. She also was notified or scared that her son was also present with her. I didn't know what to do at this moment, but my instinct kicked in like I knew exactly what I needed to do. I went up to her, I locked eyes with her, and I said, you know, I got you. We're gonna get through this. Instinct-wise, remember, I had no medical knowledge at this point. And I placed her on her left side. As we were waiting for the paramedics to arrive, she was scared, she was nervous, and I just remember standing there holding her hand saying, you know, it's gonna be okay. Help is coming. As we got in, the paramedics arrived. Actually, what ended up happening is she started screaming some more, started yelling, started going through. I remember being in the ambulance with this lady, and the paramedics was like, guess what? The baby's coming now. And I remember that day, all I did was hold her hand and give her that safe space to scream, shout. She was mad at her husband because her husband wasn't there and didn't have time for that. But my instincts just kicked in. Flash forward 20 years later, I am now a registered nurse. I have 3 beautiful children. They all are special needs. And my superpower now is to really give people a safe place to state their silent struggles. I remember my son was 2 days old in the hospital, and it was very traumatic. I was at Santa Clara Kaiser. I knew something was wrong with my son, and no one was listening to me. He was very flaccid. He was in my arms. I honestly got dismissed a lot. A lot of the nurses, even the doctor, came in and saying, you know what, you're a nurse, you should know what to do. And I did not feel heard at this time. This particular doctor was also a female, had children of her own, and every time she walked into my room, she kept telling me a different story and really wasn't listening to what it is that I was trying to tell her. It got to a point where she's like, you just need to go home, your kid is fine. And I mean, I screamed, I shouted. It got to a point, they even called security on me because I just knew something was wrong with my son. And luckily, another nurse was just like, would it help if we do a blood sugar on your son? I said, please do something that can help me to send me home where I feel at ease. And as soon as they did this blood sugar, it was only 20. And for a lot of you that may or may not know, a 20 blood sugar in a newborn is almost deadly and can be placed into a coma. So a lot of the medical team ran in, and they were like talking to me, trying to calm me down, because now I was so mad. And I remember that physician walking in saying, he was fine 20 minutes ago. And I told her, I said, no, he was never fine 20 minutes ago. Please leave because you almost killed my child. And at that point, she actually refused to leave. So I pushed the code blue button in the room and to get another physician in there. And it was just, you know, when you're in a room and people are not listening to what you have to say, it becomes very emotional. The anger kicks in, the frustration level kicks in. And I'm telling you, I had so many people outside my room trying to calm me down. And I remember my husband stating, please listen to my wife. I'm begging you, please listen, because our child's life is literally on the lines. And I really do believe that was the biggest trigger for me to having postpartum with my children. I had a large company reach out to me recently about lack of communication in their department. And they were talking about a specific person, and just for the sake of this video, I'm going to keep the names private. So I'm calling the gentleman John Smith. So in this large organization, they were telling me that Mr. John Smith's energy level was low. He used to always be this high profile. He was in leadership. He was actually in the executive leadership. And there was a sudden change in him. What ended up happening is that no one honestly truly asked him, how are you doing? I've noticed a shift. Where are you? How are things going? And they hired me on as a company to see if I was able to help with the communication that's bridging between the leadership and to Mr. John Smith. And when he was with me in my office or in my room in that moment, he actually opened up to me within 10, 15 minutes. And the real trigger is that his dad passed away 3 weeks prior, and he had to go to work, and he was doing this large presentation, and because of the social stigma and people were looking up to him, he felt he wasn't able to show his true personality, or he wasn't able to show his true emotions because of what was happening in front of him, and work just became work, work, work. And the minute I was able to have him really express his grief, express what he was doing, again, those silent struggles that he was facing outside, a couple of days later, he came back as his normal, perky self, and everyone noticed the difference. And when we asked him, an employee went up to him, they go, Mr. Smith, what's the difference now? And he said, it's because I was heard. I finally was able to talk about what happened to me and releasing the social stigma of just because I'm a leader, I need to be perfectionist in being this imperfectional world all the time. And to find out from that one conversation, 4 or 5 other people have raised their hands and stated, I'm also suffering from things similar to you. Thank you for making it, normalizing it. And they ended up having a very powerful conversation, and they were able to support each other with those silent struggles and realizing that, you know, we're all in the same place. Just because we're leaders, bystanders, or any type of position in any type of company, to go back to that level of just being a human. What would I tell my 21-year-old self, and what would I have taken away from my journey? And when I was 21 years old, I was very busy. And what that means is I was in a sorority, I was working 2 jobs at the moment, and I was putting myself through nursing school. So I was living a very fast-paced life. And the number one thing I would tell myself now is to enjoy the moment, stay present, slow myself down, so that way I'm able to make those deeper connections throughout life, able to really enjoy those moments where it really does matter, and not being on someone else's timetable. Because when I was growing up, it was always go to high school, go to college, get a job, get married, and it always followed the same path. And what I would tell myself now is your path is your own. If you want to take 6 years to graduate, then you take 6 years to graduate. If you need 10 years, you need a break, then take the break. Because life is too short in the sense of when you're present and slow yourself down, you actually are enjoying life way more than what you think is happening. So now when I look back, it really is, defining moment is like, just enjoy every single moment and have fun. I was 21. I did the partying scene, I drank, I did the whole fun yards, right? And enjoying it. Like, it's nothing wrong with it. And I wish I just did more, not necessarily the drinking and the partying, but more of the sense of staying present and truly being able to look back and say, yes, on this particular date, I remember this happening, as opposed to now, it's like a lot of it is a blur. As autism is on the rise, I have created a program where I help parents with special needs. It's the silent struggles that are very similar in every household, whether it's a divorce, whether it's a grief, whether it's a child with special needs. The silent struggles all face the same: the shame, the guilt, the frustration, not asking for help, not being able to ask for help. So I've created a program to not only help parents with special needs, but also for large organizations so their employees feel more heard, more valued, and more respected. And as these mental issues rises more and more, we really want to give the employees that safe place. And with the program that I've created, I'm hoping in the next 3 to 5 years, this explodes. This goes into every organization. It's like having your own personal nurse within the organization, and we're able to give them that holistic approach that's fully confidential. And as a parent of a special needs child of my own, it really is giving the people a place of voice, a place of freedom, and a place of confidence, releasing the social stigma, and really allowing them to be true to who they are and to really sit and be present with their current emotions in a very healthy way. So why would people hire me? Because you want your own personal nurse to be nurtured into your own organization. But it's also because I have the passion, but I also have the experience. And I believe the experience that I have gained over this past 9 years, not only do I have 1 child with special needs, not only 2, I have 3 children with special needs. I understand the struggles of having multiple calendars, multiple doctor's appointments, coming in and out of the hospital, and really being able to serve to these employees at that high level. It's the relatability that I'm actually able to create. And I have a special gift of just making people feel super comfortable the minute they're in my presence, and they love to tell me their whole story. And I will always hear their stories. And what we guarantee within our company is a 48-hour period. So if you're having a silent struggle at home and you really want to talk to somebody in more live time, we make sure that you can get on a call with me or someone from my team within 48 hours. And you're able to truly process what it is that you're going through with one of the most trusted professionals in the world, nurses. I have taken what I've learned over the past 20 years at bedside and created a program for these large organizations to enhance their wellness programs or to help with their employee and their employee relations side. It's a way to keep people, this is a way to keep people within your organization for them to be a family. You want to make it where when people come to work, they want to come to work, not this, oh, here I go to work again. We want to make it where it's fun, it's creative, it's innovative, but it's like a family. People coming in, giving that hug. How are you? Because they've released a lot of those silent struggles at home, or it becomes normalized. And everyone on the team is now understanding what it is without somebody feeling like they need to cry in the bathroom. And here, I gave them the permission to cry in front of their team or in their organization. And this also helps with the parents with special needs as well. There's no program out there for parents with special needs. There's many different ones that may be there, but to be honest, it's really difficult to find. And it's those silent struggles of where I developed this entire program so any company, any organization, any human can adapt into their life. Because what's more trusted in the world? It's nurses. And we have taken a specialty from bedside and taking that empowerment throughout the community. What have I experienced most about this whole experience is Shea Brown really, truly makes you feel comfortable. And he really takes your story and listens to it, and then he teaches you on how to storytell. I was very blessed to be working with Shea for about 5 months now, and I probably asked him 1,001 questions. I probably called him 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and he always answered the phone no matter where he was, or he had made sure he gave me the time that I needed, and sat with me, slowed my presence down, and really gave me that confidence that I needed, because I've never done a production like this before. I've been on stages, but nothing behind a camera. And he really makes you feel comfortable. The team makes you feel comfortable. It's enlightening, it's light. There is no, like, if you've done something wrong, it's just like it all goes behind the scenes. And it's just been such a pure joy to be working here with him. And this experience is going to take me for a lifetime.